very big meeting. Is right. Now, when I think about the aftermath and my reaction to the situation, I have to laugh because some people would have just let it go. But me, oh no. No. I went into full reality TV meltdown mode. I'm talking heart palpitations, stomach flipping. And I swear I heard dramatic music in the background. And that was all within 5.5 seconds. But then here's what I did. I did what I would think most rational and professional people would do. I took one look at it, screenshot it, and sent it to my mentor. And she didn't miss a beat. She hopped on Zoom, listened, and then she said, Nicole, you need to speak to your manager. Best advice ever. Except that's not what I did, not immediately. It took me a whole week to even talk to my manager because I avoided it. I do what most of us do. And so within that week, I had, of course, tried to come up with every reason possible why that would have occurred. Was it a mistake? Did I miss something? Did they forget I even existed? By the end of that week, I had come up with a full-on conspiracy theory with charts, arrows, and sticky notes. And I did talk to my manager, and we had a long, hard conversation. We cleared things up. And just to let you all know, it was nothing like what I thought it was. But I share that story because I wouldn't have had the fortitude to even address the issue if I didn't have a mentor who created space for me to vent and then nudge me into a more appropriate next step. And that's the power of mentorship. So when we talk about being unstoppable, yes, we've all made it this far. But the reality is in order to keep pushing forward, in order to keep moving, you can't do this alone. You need help. If you ever think about it, there are some people who, no matter what is happening, they continue to progress. Earlier in my career, I used to ask myself, what makes that person different? And here's what I found. They didn't lean on talent alone. They actually built relationships, and more importantly, they leveraged mentorship. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I am going to share a few things about mentorship, and hopefully by the end of my talk, I will have either convinced you to get a mentor or to begin mentoring someone else. Now, here are the things I'm going to share so you know how far I am in my speech. I'm going to share 3 things about mentorship. I'm going to share some ways that you can find the right mentor, because that's important. And then I'm going to share some tips about being a mentor and being a mentee. All right? All right, here we go. So those 3 things: mentorship changes trajectories, mentorship multiplies impact, and mentorship gives purpose. So I'm going to delve just a little bit into each of those 3 areas. So mentorship changes trajectories. Mentorship isn't optional, it's essential. Here's something I wanted to share. Research actually shows that people that have mentors are promoted 5 times more often than those without. But even beyond the numbers, mentorship gives you perspective and insight so you just can't get on your own. I remember that same mentor, she asked me a question. Her question was, who is Nicole? Now, you would think that's an easy question to answer, but it's not. And the reason why she asked me that question is because she knew enough to know that achieving that next rung on the career ladder was not going to necessarily make me happy or bring me joy, as Bossy talked about earlier. And that's the benefit of a mentor. A mentor has been where you've been. They walked that path, so they know how to keep you from making the same mistakes or hitting those pitfalls that you would do on your own. That mentor can help you to turn left if you're supposed to turn left instead of right. Mentorship, one thing that I know about it is it gives clarity that you can't get on your own. And that clarity is important when it comes to the industries that you all work within, because sometimes we can feel like the climb for us was a little bit unfairly steep. But what mentorship does is it focuses more on building momentum instead of looking at what you don't have access to. Number two, mentorship multiplies impact. There's a ripple effect to mentorship. A colleague of mine once introduced me as her former mentor. Now it's funny because I had forgotten that's how our relationship started. At that moment, I was watching her thrive. I was watching her lead and mentor other people. And that's the way mentorship works. It doesn't just impact one life, but it impacts the lives of all of the other people that one person is going to touch. It creates a ripple effect, a domino effect, cascading outwardly. And then number three, mentorship gives purpose. So, what surprised me most about mentorship was not how much the mentee grew, but it was how much I grew as a person becoming a mentor. It helped me to become a better listener, a better collaborator, a better leader. Because when you're working with someone one-on-one and you're seeing that what you have done is helping the next person, it helps you grow up within your career as well. So, yes, Nicole, all that sounds really great. But how do I find the right mentor? Well, I'm glad you asked. First, you want to start with clarity. And here what I mean by this is you want to know what it is that you're trying to achieve. That's going to be very important when it comes to choosing a mentor. And it's going to help your mentor to know how they can help you. So first start with, what goal am I trying to achieve? Do I want to go back to school? Am I trying to get promoted? Is there something else that I want? The next thing is you want to look beyond the titles. It's very tempting to approach the highest person at your organization to try to get them to mentor you. If I'm honest with you, probably half the company is trying to approach that person too. Start with someone that might be a couple roles ahead of you, or even a subject matter expert. So it's not necessarily the title that the person has, but it's the experience that they bring. The next thing you want to do is to seek alignment, not perfection. And here, what I'm talking about here is, does this person align with your values? Thank you. Listen, thank you, girl. And I think it was it Marlene? I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, but she talked about values, how important it is with your career. I've been in a mentor situation where that person didn't align with my values, and you pretty much have to stop that partnership, and it can be very uncomfortable. So you want to make sure you find someone who aligns with your values. And then here's a pro tip, is you want to have multiple mentors in different areas of your life, okay? So how can you set yourself up to be properly mentored, or to be get the most out of your mentor relationship? Now, it only works if you know how to do that. And we all do things by trial and error, but I'm going to give you some good ways. Set clear goals. We talked about that when we said you want to know what it is that you're trying to achieve. Once again, it will help to direct you and plus your mentor. Next, be open and honest. How many people, maybe you don't have to, I'm going to say, I have gone through counseling, okay? I've gone through counseling. And if you've ever been through counseling with someone, and that person gets in the counseling office and just makes up things, is frustrating, because you can't grow like that. It's the same thing with mentorship, all right? So with your mentor, you want to be open and honest with your mentor about what is going on with you, what's frustrating you. You want to make sure that your mentor understands where you're coming from so they can help you. Of course, that's going to require for a level of trust to be built over time, but you do want to get to the place where there is honesty. Number 3, and I heard transparency. Thank you. I heard that right there. Also, prepare for meetings. So come to your meeting with your mentor knowing what it is that you want to talk about. So don't walk in there and say, let's just have a conversation. Your mentor is a very busy person. So what is it that you want to talk about that day? What's been on your mind? What are you trying to achieve? Okay? The next thing, take initiative. This one is big. You drive that relationship. This is your career. They're helping you. I have actually, before I say this, let me say something else. The people who know me, and some of them are here, know that I absolutely love helping people advance in their career. Okay, so when I say this, keep that in mind. I have ended a few mentorship relationships because the person didn't take initiative. Because I have done this long enough to know that if a person can't take initiative, they are not ready to be mentored. They're not going to put in the work. So you have to take initiative. And that means that you're the one that's setting up those meetings. That means you are following up with your mentor, letting your mentor know how you've applied what you've talked about. Number 5, be receptive to feedback. Now, I know some feedback is really tough to accept, but I'm going to say this. If you have chosen a person to be your mentor, then you approach that person because you believe in them and you trust them in some way. So trust that person, whatever type of feedback, even if it's a little bit ouchy, that person has good in mind for you. So what I typically do is, if it hurts at first, I take a minute, lick my wound, and then I think, well, what part of what they shared is correct? And I take action based off of that. Number 6, show appreciation. Let your mentor know that you appreciate them taking their time to mentor you. Once again, these people are very busy. They're helping you. One of the ways to show appreciation is by letting them know, giving them a status of how things are going that you talked about. Number 7, act on advice. So don't just listen. Like I said, it's not just a conversation, but whatever you talked about, then make sure you act on it. For example, if you told your mentor that you wanted to have better stage presence, right? And your mentor gave you some advice. Well, practice yourself walking back and forth or standing in one place. Practice on camera. So then the next time you meet with your mentor, you tell your mentor, this is what I asked you, this is what you told me, this is what I did with that, and these are my results. That lets your mentor know that you're listening and you are you're actually trying to apply and grow as you should. Number 8, be respectful of their time. Don't be late. I don't think that needs any explanation. Number 9, seek additional opportunities. So your mentor has network. They have knowledge of those office politics, right? They have information that you don't have privy to. So talk to your mentor about those things that they can introduce you to. And then number 10, reflect and adapt. Now this has to do more so with taking a step back and looking at what you've done with your mentor so far, and then seeing what works and what doesn't work. All right? So let's say you're ready to become a mentor. Now, when let's back up a little bit. After I found out just how powerful, by the way, I didn't get a mentor until about 20 years into my career. That's bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. But after I found out about how important it is to have a mentor, I started seeking mentorship in different areas. And I actually took a class and was introduced to this class to someone who became a mentor of mine. And she introduced me to some things that she actually introduced me to a few things, but she introduced me to the mentor I talked about earlier, the one who helped me with the org chart. And when I think about how the impact of that one situation and that one piece of advice, how much that made such an impact on my life, it was a very pivotal moment for me. I look at that person and I look at her as being exceptional. And so when I think about what made her exceptional, oh, by the way, did I say her name is Nicole? It's Nicole. Some about those Nicoles. But when I think about what made her exceptional, there's some things that she did, and these are the things I'm going to share with you. So Nicole actively listened. She did not say, girl, why are you just acting so dramatic about this situation? I mean, she could have, a lot of us would, right? She listened, she tried to understand my perspective, and then she steered me in the right direction. So you want to make sure that you're asking open-ended questions in your mentor, with your mentee, so that you can understand their perspective and where they are. She also helped me to set clear goals. So you start with your goal, and then you have that overarching goal, but you know, we can't just achieve that one big goal. We have those smaller goals that we have to achieve. So she had me to sit down and set what we call SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So as a mentor, you want to be able to help your mentees to set goals. She was supportive and encouraging. Nicole, especially during tough times, especially during challenges, Nicole showed up to things that I didn't even invite her to. It's important that your mentor or your mentee realizes that you are very supportive of them. It makes a difference in the relationship and it helps to build trust. Number 4, share your experiences. So as you're giving advice, you want to be able to share relevant experiences in your own career with the information that you're providing to your mentor, your mentee. And then number 5, foster independence. So here, you are not simply giving advice all the time. This requires a little bit of coaching. You're helping your mentee to solve problems on their own. It's kind of like teaching someone how to fish instead of giving them fish. Number 6, maintain confidentiality. Anything we talked about, Nicole never went back and told anyone. At least it never came back to me. It did. But make sure that your mentee knows that whatever is shared between the two of you remains there. That's going to be important. Number 7, be available and accessible. So Nicole was very popular. She did her job, she did it well, and so she always got these extra special projects, but yet she set aside time for me and on a regular basis. So make sure that you are available for your mentee to set up regular meetings with you. That's going to be important. And then the ways of communication. You want to be open to the different ways that you can communicate. And one thing I want to say about her is I was not the only person she was mentoring. So the fact that she would even take that time that she took with me, and she had a busy schedule and she was mentoring other people. Number 8, offer constructive feedback. We talked about how important feedback is. And so make sure you are offering feedback that's going to help them to grow, to move forward. And then number 9, you have to be a role model. You have to be trustworthy. You have to have integrity. That's going to be important. And they need to be able to see where you've been resilient. Your life is an example to the people that you're mentoring. And number 10, encourage networking. So invite them into opportunities to connect with the right people. Invite people to conferences like Empowering Women, your mentee. Let them know about the things that they wouldn't regularly or normally have information about. So you want to bring them into your world as well. Okay, so let's bring this all together. Mentorship changes trajectories. There's the ripple effect to mentorship. And it doesn't just impact one life, but it creates ripples, a ripple effect that expands outwardly. That was the wrong point, but you know what I meant. It was the second point. Mentorship changes trajectories. It helps us to align with who we are and gets us on the right path. Mentorship multiplies impact. It expands outwardly. And then mentorship gives purpose. This isn't a one-way relationship. It gives purpose to both the mentor and the mentee. So my challenge to you is this. If you don't have a mentor, find one. If you do foster that relationship, and if you're ready, step into the role of a mentor, because success isn't built in isolation. The people who continue to thrive, those who continue to push forward, those who stand strong, they don't do it alone. You aren't meant to just survive, but to thrive and to lead and to be, ladies, unstoppable.